Hello, my name is Roy Smith. This is my presentation on college hoops' most legendary team that was erased from history, the 1991 University of Michigan Wolverines Division I basketball team, also known as the FAB Five, of Chris Webber, Ray Jackson, Jalen Rose, Jimmy King, and Juwan Howard. 28 years ago, the University of Michigan was considered to be the home of the most famous collegiate basketball team ever assembled. They were beloved by many and hated by few, yet in the rafters, the banners and achievements that the Fab Five earned were stripped away. All of the fame and glory that the Fab Five established were to be washed away like it never happened. I introduce the Fab Five: Chris Webber, Jalen Rose, Juwan Howard, Jimmy King, Ray Jackson. The most famous recruiting class in college history 28 years ago changed the game.
Already, baby! Here they go, the Wolverines!
In 1991, Michigan would recruit these five freshmen that would change the face of college hoops through the lens of culture, revenue, and marketing tactics. Michigan's 1991 class was also popular during this time and even earned a nickname called the Fab Five. 4 out of the 5 played in the McDonald's All-American game in high school and were highly sought after by other major colleges like Kentucky, North Carolina, and Duke. They ultimately band together and went to Michigan because they all had similar backgrounds and personalities. The Fab Five didn't win any national championships, but they changed basketball in a different spectrum. Chris Webber was the first of the Fab Five members to leave Michigan. He was drafted by the Orlando Magic in 1993, but later was traded the same night to Golden State Warriors. He played with 5 different teams over his 15-year career span. Webber holds the NBA career average of 20.7 points per game, 9.8 rebounds per game, and 4.2 assists per game, and 1.4 blocks per game. He was selected to play in the NBA All-Star game 5 times during his 15-year career as well. Jalen Rose was the next person from the Fab Five to leave from Michigan. He was selected by the Denver Nuggets in the 1994 draft, but he played most of his NBA career for the Indiana Pacers. During his time with the Pacers, they went to 3 consecutive Eastern Conference Finals in the late 90s and the early 2000s. Jimmy King was selected in the 1995 NBA draft by the Toronto Raptors. He played in a total of 64 games in 2 seasons with the Raptors and Denver Nuggets, made 1 start for the Raptors in 1996. King was later released and then joined the Quad City Thunder, a CBA team, for most of his career. King retired with a career high of 4.5 points after his 1996 and 1997 season in the NBA. Juwan Howard left Michigan his junior season. He was drafted 5th overall into the NBA in 1994 by the Washington Bullets. He is the only member of the Fab Five to ever win an NBA championship, which was with the Miami Heat in 2012. And the last member of the Fab Five is Ray Jackson, whom was never drafted into the NBA. He was cut in the preseason by the New York Knicks before the 1995 season, and then cut by the Detroit Pistons in the 1996 season. And then later he got drafted into the CBA by Grand Rapids Hoops in 1995. Just to do a brief summary of the Fab Five players, 4 out of the 5 will go on to the NBA except Ray Jackson, who never suited up for a team. Jimmy King played in 2 seasons. Juwan Howard was a 1-time NBA All-Star and won 2 NBA championship rings with the Miami Heat. Jalen Rose grew as a player between 1999 and 2003, leading the Indiana Pacers in scoring that year and also reaching the NBA Finals. Chris Webber was also an NBA All-Star and was the leading scorer of the Sacramento Kings team, who reached the Western Conference Finals in 2002. And Juwan Howard is the only member of the group who ever won the NBA championship, as he did, like I said, with the Miami Heat in 2012. Next, I'll go into the changes that the Fab Five brought to college hoops and the world and its fans.
We just had a little flair, a little style.
People call us cocky, but we're a more confident team.
We figured, why don't they like us? How could you not like us? And if you don't like us, we're going to make you like us.
I don't think we ever doubted ourselves from day one. And we knew if we stayed together, we could do anything we wanted to.
Brash, confident. We didn't use the word swagger back then, but we had a hell of a swagger.
The Fab Five brought a new black urban hip hop culture to college hoops. It was a flair that some didn't understand, but they did. The first notable change was their shorts.
Hip hop was coming in its own thing. We all loved hip hop. We just wanted to have our own style.
We wanted to be comfortable. We didn't like the tight shorts.
They look like girl shorts. I don't want to look like John Stockton or a ballerina.
From a comfortable standpoint, the baggy shorts helped a lot.
If you go back and look when the Fab Five played, and you look at Arkansas shorts, ours pale by comparison. But we got all the credit and blame for bringing in the long shorts.
Here's a classic example of how the uniforms used to look versus how the uniforms look now in modern day. The Fab Five also added black socks, shoes, and bald heads to influence future stars like LeBron and Chauncey Billups.
They were definitely the first people that I've seen wear black socks in the basketball game. It was something that nobody did, but it looked pretty stylish.
That was the first time cats was wearing long, long shorts. Everybody could relate to that, you know what I'm saying? Every time I got a pair, I was trying to, if my shorts wasn't long, I was pulling them down to make them long, you know what I'm saying?
The Fab Five played just like they would in street ball, with major alley-oops, hard dunks, smack talking, and definitely bringing a new energy to the sport.
You look at it right now and it's not a big deal. When you see an athlete with a tattoo, or you see an athlete talking trash on the court, or you see an athlete with a bald head. But back then it was a big deal. It's like, oh wow, look at these thugs, where did they come from?
To some it seemed immature their playing style, but some said they brought a youthful energy to the sport and its fans.
I mean, it was hard sometimes to remember that they were 18 years old because they honestly thought they could beat everybody.
Yeah, we were cocky, we were brash. You have to be when you're a pioneer. When you're trying to kick the door down, you try to establish something for everybody else to follow.
In 1992, the Fab Five became the first all-freshman starting team in NCAA history to play in the national championship. Building on their championship experience, the next year they got to the NCAA championship again against UNC Chapel Hill. Yet they're trailing by 2, and they're famously known for this final play in college hoops history.
Travel. Weber to the right side with Phelps on him. Weber in the corner. And now he's called what? Michigan can't take a timeout. They don't have a timeout.
Weeks later, with his teammates' support and approval, he declared for the NBA draft.
I decided to turn pro. Just a decision that I felt was necessary for me to keep going and to move on.
In 2002, after a federal investigation, Weber was found guilty accepting money from a booster named Ed Martin. In 2003, Weber pled guilty to lying to a jury about repaying Martin. Due to the Weber incident, Michigan had to forfeit all their games, they had to give back all the tournament money, and they took down the banners that they earned in their arena.
They basically erased their existence. I mean, officially, they don't exist. It's somewhat tragic. You have, you know, Chris Webber, the star of that team, isn't allowed to associate with that basketball team. And the only way he can get into that building is to buy a ticket.
Here's a banner from the 1993 season NCAA Finals.
Swim.
It doesn't taint us at all. You know, infamy makes you live longer. That's just the bottom line.
You can't think of Michigan without thinking of the Fab Five, and I'm proud of that. I love it, and one day we'll reconcile. One day everything will be okay, because we love it. See, our legacy is we were 5 freshmen that went to the national championship game and lost to a senior-laden Duke team.
Now I'll explain how the NCAA, the University of Michigan, and Nike exploited the Fab Five for their talents. Before the Fab Five came along, all basketball players really didn't have unique styles. Everyone looked the same. They are the main reasons basketball players began to wear baggier shorts, black socks, blasting hip-hop music in the locker room while trash-talking their opponents every chance they got. The Fab Five brought a different creative demeanor and swag, unlike the old John Stockton look fans were used to seeing. Some fans took their sense of style as offensive, disrespectful, and maybe even ghetto because it was out of the norms for basketball players to look or act as such. The Fab Five received many hateful fan mails, and fans spoke racial slurs during games towards them. These guys were only doing what was comfortable to them. Instead of letting the university change their image, they adapted their own image and made it a part of basketball, and it became a culture for them. Due to their national popularity, Nike became one of the first companies to sponsor college sports, and the Fab Five was the right team to promote and market its products. These freshmen were used as walking catalogs on the court, from jerseys, shoes, socks, and everything that was Nike. The University of Michigan, the coaches, and Nike were making billions of dollars off sales using the images of the Fab Five. Once Nike became the sponsor of Michigan, the memorabilia sales skyrocketed. Anything Nike could put the Fab Five face on, it was sold. With all the popularity and fame, these guys still were struggling just to eat some nights within their dorms and had to go out late at night to try to find food because dining halls were closed. So just to go back real quick to Chris Webber, so one can only imagine going through the situation of being at Michigan, not having, financial support. Like, what options are you left with to keep yourself sustaining? So if me personally being a 18, 19-year-old in college and someone offers me perhaps say $1 million, knowing that I'm going to the NBA already, it just makes sense that I can take advantage of my opportunities right now. And it's sad to say that the NCAA, the universities, and all the stakeholders that play a part in making the big revenue, that none of it goes back to the athlete. Yes, they do get an education. We all know that education plays a part in it. But is it enough for a student athlete who has to wake up, go to class, go to workouts, miss class because he's performing in the March Madness tournaments, and probably won't go to class because he's being drafted into the NBA, or those players who are there for 4 years and play, yet come out, and some of them don't even graduate, some do, and it's not guaranteed that you'll find a job with whatever degree that you go into the school with. Now we're looking at the top 5 college apparel deals currently within college sports. Number 1 is the University of Michigan with $11.1 million per year with Nike from 2016 to 2017. Notre Dame is next at $9 million per year with Under Armour from 2015 to 2024. UCLA is third with $7.5 million per year with Adidas from 2011 to 2017. Louisville is fourth with $7.8 million per year with Adidas from 2014 to 2018. And last, fifth, is Tennessee at $6.4 million per year with Nike from 2007 to 2016. These contracts go directly to the university's athletic departments, among other revenue streams from the conference's TV marketing contracts and in-house university revenue streams. The revenue is circulated plenty of times with these top schools that are self-sustaining, and yet the main contributors, which are the athletes, are left out of the cold and don't get any of the profits that they are making for these businesses. Knowing that every 27 student athletes is a full scholarship Knowing that every 27 student athletes is a full scholarship athlete should be enough reason to give all student athletes the full educational opportunities if they aren't given any compensation for their field play within the scope of his or her sport, especially in this case, basketball. This graph right here shows how much more money the NCAA makes off of men's basketball rather than the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, and NHL. And as you can see, it's significantly higher than the NHL, MLB combined, and just above the NBA and NFL. So I would like to conclude with saying that the NCAA is essentially growing with college sports, and the system that they have created has been working over and over and over. And since the change with modern TV marketing rights, sponsorship deals like Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour, colleges are reaping the benefits of using the athletes as products. If you don't have any college athletes, then you have no college sports, which will alleviate all streams of revenue from all involving entities. College athletes like the Fab Five suffer from the same circumstances on a daily basis. We all know that majority of the college athletes come from inner city communities with little opportunities. Their families need their support. Most athletes don't make it out of their communities due to helping their parents, providing for them. With the NCAA restrictive opportunities, the college athletes' ability to profit off their own image and likeness isn't allowed in the NCAA. University and its stockholders get away with economic murder by controlling the main product that drives revenue streams, which is the college athlete. The NCAA has sponsors, investors, and universities within the palm of their hands, that give them the power to prevent athletes from being compensated for basic needs. The NCAA also controls social experiences that don't allow athletes to benefit from things such as revenue from YouTube, Instagram, or Snapchat. Athletes are being monitored on every outlet once they sign their national letters of intent. Knowing that the NCAA makes bulk of its revenue during the Division I basketball championships through TV and marketing rights and championship ticket sales, all of the allocated revenue is stated by the NCAA to support the student athlete at its heart and the NCAA's mission. Yet the revenue is dispersed to many channels within the NCAA to support sports sponsorships, scholarship funds, Division I championship performance funds, Division I championships, student assistance funds that they don't allocate to every student athlete. You have to qualify for it. Student athlete service, championship support, Division I equal conference funds, academic enhancement, Division II and III allocations, membership support services, Division I conference grants, educational programs, educational administration expenses, and other associated expenses that the NCAA acquire with doing their major events. Personally, it's hard to see that the NCAA is making all of this revenue, yet it's listed as a nonprofit organization, and it rakes in billions of dollars year in and year out, and college athletes like the Fab Five aren't receiving any payout or any parts of the money that is being made. So the Fab Five scandal, as you can see it, as a marketing platform for the NCAA and major investors that wanted a piece of the pie. The NCAA, Michigan, and everyone involved within making the revenue is off the backs of the Fab Five being exploited, their image, their likeness, and their lifestyles, and sold it to the world and for profit without any compensation. That's what you call, I believe, like a modern day slavery. Hopefully college athletes and, the NCAA, they change their rules over time where athletes like the Fab Five can be compensated for their contributions to the sport. So they solely help generate the revenue